Zafir Rustam, and I have been driving cab since '85. The only way I could guarantee my job is to own my own plates. So after 5 years in business, I had to go and buy my plates as the only guarantee for my livelihood, to make sure that nobody can control my destiny in this kind of business. So what I did is I had to borrow money and mortgage my house to be able to afford at the time the price of the plate that was the same price as a single home at the time. The plate has appreciated in value until then, until recently when the Uber started to come. For me now, to deprive me of my only guarantee for my pension, which we don't have, is to have a plate as an investment. So we invested heavily in this, and it sounds to me like now somebody is taking away the value of my house from me.
So for 17 years you've invested in a taxi license that has appreciated in value, and now within a week your pension and what you've worked for 17 years could be gone. Is that stating it correctly?
That is correctly what's happened. We feel that we have been deprived of our livelihood. We cannot maintain the same level of life living as we used to. We had to work harder than before to make less than we used to make before. And on top of that, now by the introduction of Uber, we feel that we have lost everything.
Well, you can't say you've lost everything. If they level the playing field and realize the value of the licenses, will that be enough for you? Like if they put a value on the licenses? Because you know Uber's coming, we can't change that. What do you think about that?
I think that if Uber has to come into the market, they have to comply with all the regulations that we have to comply with concerning age limit in licensing and insurance and all the rest of it. Our union has declared what they wanted to see in this new legislation. I know that Uber is here to stay, but it's not here to take our livelihood.
My name is Norman Azzi. I've been driving cab in Ottawa, city of Ottawa, 35 years, on and off. I bought my plate about 27 years ago, and I'm still driving cab, and I'm not earning money as much as I used to earn in the past. I'm working harder, longer hours, and it's no money to be made like before. Especially now, if they're gonna permit Uber to work as a company, as a transportation company. So we want to be in the,
When you first invested in the license, did you think it was going to be part of a pension or basically a legacy that you could take with you after working 27 years?
I was hoping I keep my plate as a pension for me when I retire. I can rent it and collect some money of it for extra income.
So if they really talk about leveling the playing field, and you know Uber's coming, obviously your biggest concern is putting a value on that license and extinguishing that license in a fair way that it will basically be amicable to the fellow plate owners. Would that be correct?
Well, it's going to be correct if they comply with all the rules and the regulation of the City of Ottawa.
So what do you think the level playing field, how is it not level right now with regards to Uber, other than the licensing issue?
Because they have no insurance. They have no...
well, they have $5 million insurance. That's going to be a regulation.
They're talking about it, but it's not there on the table.
So you want the city to manage that, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I think that's a good idea. Why have the cat managing the hen house, right? So...
Well, let's hope.
Let's hope that the city does take on that as part of their 12-cent a fare Uber levy that they'll be putting on the taxi industry from an Uber standpoint. Many people think that the levy should be higher, that there should be some fund set up to compensate the drivers for their licenses. In Scotland, each license was attributed with a $150,000 value, and the licensees in Scotland were paid out by the city. But Rick O'Connor says there's no financial obligation to the city for the price of the licenses. That will be one of the underlying fights here at City Hall over the next 2 days, 7th and the 8th of April, as the city undergoes an extensive taxi bylaw licensing change at City Hall. I'm Guy Annable from the Capital Voice. Great.
I have been driving taxi for 15 years. 13 years of that I owned my plate with my life savings and borrowed money. The only reason I invested in this business is because it is regulated by the city. Now they are dropping the regulation, it looks like, and it's not a playing field because these people are coming with nothing and we are doing the same business. It is to take a customer from point A to point B. Both of us, we do the same thing, but we are regulated and they are not regulated. This is not fair.
What do you think moving forward the city's going to have to do to have the two services coexist in harmony, or is that ever going to happen?
Even bringing them here in the system is not fair because the only reason that we invested in this business is because it's regulated and it's going to be capped. That's why we expected it to be our pension and to be our job. Now we are losing our job and our pension. This is not fair. If they are going to bring them in, they have to be in with the same rules and regulations. They should have the same insurance like us, and the city should look at it, not manage it by Uber. They should have cameras, they should have everything we have and be regulated like us.
Do you feel that after 27 years of paying the licensing fees, paying the dues, paying the inspections, that the city is really pulling the carpet out from under your feet with this licensing change, especially with the compensation they're not offering with the...
Definitely, I feel really betrayed by our politicians. I think it's not fair. We invested on this, they regulated it, they made us pay, they charged us transfer fees all the time. Now they are just pulling the carpet underneath our feet.
What do you see as a level playing field other than following all the rules, which they will not have to do with regards to cameras? They will have GPS. What other suggestions are you going to have for council today?
If they really want them in, they should compensate us because the only reason we invested is because of their regulations.
So your biggest concern today is compensation for what you've worked 27 years for?
Well, it's my job and my value, yes.
I can totally understand that. So there's a lot of very, very concerned people here today who have invested a lot in this city and the taxi industry, and the fate of those people is about to be decided. I'm Guy Annable from the Capital Voice here at City Hall.